Hi, thanks for checking out Designation Station. In this video, I'm going to quickly give a demonstration of some of the software's functionality. So the first thing we're going to do is click into the project, and I'm going to upload a couple MDB transcripts. And the MDB files contain the transcript as well as the associated timecode information, which will allow us to generate runtimes as designations are added or removed. So we'll just let those upload. And you can see the data has been populated in the deponent list. And the first thing we're going to do is enter designations, and I have them already typed up in an Excel spreadsheet. So we're just going to go ahead and copy those and paste them into the plaintiff affirmative column. And you'll notice as soon as I hit save that everything gets formatted, sorted, and there's a runtime for that designation off to the right, as well as a total duration on the far right. So I'm just going to grab the second set here, and you'll see that they're in two different columns. That's fine. Again, as soon as you hit save, everything gets formatted. And you'll see off to the right there's this OBJ, which indicates that there's an objection within that designation set, as well as an ERR, which indicates that there's an error with that designation. Just going to add these. For the last set, you'll see that they're all on the same line and that there's a comma or a semicolon in between each designation. Again, as soon as you hit save, it'll put everything on its own line, so that's not an issue either. Now that we have the data, there's a couple different things you can do. The first that you'll see is there's two different colors. There's green, which indicates that designations have been added, and red, which indicates that there's errors in those designations. Another way that you can enter designations is through the transcript highlight, and we'll just jump to page 6 here. And you can see the actual transcript, and if you click on any of these lines, those designations will be added to the defendant counter, which is what we've selected. And if you've entered data into another designation set, you can toggle that on or off just by clicking next to it. And you can make your selections around a different set and jump around in someone else's designations while you're selecting your own. And as soon as you hit save, you can see that if we go back to the manual entry, all of those designations have been saved numerically as well. Now that we have some data, we can do a couple different things. The first is going to be processing the designations or condensing them, which is going to remove all duplicates, all overlap, as well as combine adjacent designations, which is if you've got a designation that ends on page 5, line 6, and the next designation picks up on page 5, line 7, it'll put those two together and just reduce the total amount of designations by combining everything that it can, which is going to reduce the total amount of data that you're working with. So if we look at the first example, you can see page 6, line 4 to 14, and page 6, line 4 to 16 right underneath. And if we run the processing, and you can see the colors have changed to note that they've been processed, you'll see that 6.4 to 6.14 has been removed since it was duplicative. And you can also see that the total duration has been reduced since we removed all duplicates and overlap. Now if you wanted to go back and revert to an old version of it, you can just click on the archive, and if we click on the plaintiff affirmative version that we were just looking at, it'll bring up all of the old designations, so you never lose them, and you could just copy and paste those back in if you needed to. Another thing you can do is collect reports from the data. We saw before there were errors in some of the designation sets. Some of them contained objections, and if we want to see the runtimes, pull down the designations themselves, or generate highlighted transcripts, you can do all that over here under Collect Designations. We're just going to select all the items we want, hit Collect, and it's going to add those to a zip file that we can download. And if we open up the zip file, first we've got our designations, which are split out by deponent by tab. Then we've got our error log, which shows all of the errors as well as the deponents that they're listed in and the designation set as well as the designation. The objection report, which contains all of the objections as well as the line of text that contains the objection. And the runtime reports, which show all of the runtimes for each designation set that has designations as well as the MDB transcript. For the highlighted transcripts, you can select whether or not to include every page or just the pages that contain designations. In this example, we have just the pages that have designations. We also have the option to highlight the text or have a line in the margin. If multiple parties have selected the same text, with the line in the margin, you won't have a gray color. You'll be able to easily see who has designated what. At the end of the PDF, you'll see the legend along with the runtimes. That's it. Thanks for watching.